The Transparency of Faith, a comparative analysis of Tibetan Buddhism and Christianity. Religious and philosophical traditions offer frameworks through which individuals seek understanding, purpose, and transcendence. Tibetan Buddhism, often presented as a serene philosophy, and Christianity, openly spiritual in its claims, stand as two distinct paradigms. While Tibetan Buddhism cloaks its supernatural elements in philosophical language, it also incorporates practices that carry significant spiritual risks. Christianity, by contrast, approaches faith with unwavering honesty, offering a clear and transparent path for its adherents. Tibetan Buddhism is frequently perceived in the West as a philosophy of mindfulness and ethical living. Yet this perception masks a deeper engagement with supernatural beliefs. These include the existence of celestial realms, demonic entities, and karmic cycles that bind souls to the wheel of samsara. Practices such as mantra chanting and the visualization of deities exemplify its mystical dimensions. The use of mantras, often framed as tools for focus and spiritual elevation, can also serve as mechanisms for inducing trance-like states. These states, while intended to facilitate transcendence, may leave practitioners susceptible to subconscious influences, exposing them to potential spiritual manipulation. Mindfulness, another cornerstone of Buddhist practice, is frequently lauded as a method for achieving clarity and peace. However, its application in Tibetan Buddhism often goes beyond mere awareness. True mindfulness in this context involves an intentional emptying of the mind, ostensibly to transcend egoic attachments. This process can have unintended consequences, potentially loosening the restraints of the subconscious and opening the mind to influences beyond one's control. Far from a neutral exercise, this practice may invite not only introspection, but also vulnerabilities to negative spiritual manipulation. The seemingly innocuous facade of mindfulness thus becomes a deceptive gateway to risks that practitioners may not fully understand. At the core of Tibetan Buddhism lies the profound devotion to a spiritual master. This relationship, central to many teachings, requires the disciple to surrender their will and judgment entirely to the guidance of their guru. While this trust is portrayed as essential for spiritual progression, it also mirrors dynamics that critics liken to hypnosis or psychological dependency. The unquestioning acceptance of a master's instructions, combined with practices like mantra chanting and mental emptying, can create conditions ripe for manipulation. This dynamic underscores the inherent risks in a tradition that blends philosophy with supernaturalism, often obscured beneath layers of poetic language and ritualistic allure. Christianity, in contrast, presents its spiritual nature with unflinching clarity. From its acknowledgement of angels and demons to its teachings on heaven and hell, Christianity never conceals its belief in a transcendent reality. It is forthright about the spiritual stakes involved in human existence and the eternal destinies that hinge upon one's relationship with God. This honesty reflects a foundational commitment to truth, a virtue that shapes both its moral teachings and its divine promises. The Bible, as Christianity's sacred text, embodies this commitment to truthfulness. Its teachings, such as those found in John 14:6, openly declare the exclusivity of Christ as the path to salvation. Christianity also places a strong emphasis on integrity and accountability, as seen in Ephesians 4:25, where believers are exhorted to speak truthfully to one another. This moral clarity is not only a reflection of God's nature, but also a safeguard for believers navigating the complexities of faith and life. One of Christianity's most distinctive features is its direct approach to spiritual relationships. Unlike the mediated practices of Tibetan Buddhism, which often require the intervention of a spiritual master, Christianity encourages personal engagement with God. Through prayer, scripture, and community, believers are invited to grow in faith without relinquishing their autonomy or critical judgment. This emphasis on personal responsibility and divine grace fosters an environment of spiritual growth that is both honest and empowering. When comparing the two traditions, the differences are profound. Tibetan Buddhism's veiled supernaturalism, coupled with practices like mantra chanting and mindfulness, reveals a framework that invites both fascination and caution. Its reliance on devotion to spiritual masters and the practice of mental emptying introduce risks that cannot be overlooked, particularly the potential for negative spiritual manipulation. Christianity, in its transparency and moral anchoring, offers a path that is free from such ambiguities. Its openness about spiritual realities and its call to truth and honesty provide a foundation of trust and clarity for its adherents. Ultimately, both traditions seek to guide individuals toward enlightenment or salvation, yet their methods and underlying assumptions differ drastically. Tibetan Buddhism, with its poetic allure and mystical practices, challenges its followers to navigate a path rife with both inspiration and danger. Christianity, by embracing honesty and divine grace, offers a way forward that is both straightforward and secure. In this comparison, the clarity and transparency of Christianity stand as a testament to the enduring power of truth in the human quest for meaning.